Hello, welcome to the weather update. It is 9:30, October 26th, 2022, and we had another day where we had the sun break through. It got quite warm again. You could see we had the sun break through, but then it was only out for like an hour or two, and then it kind of clouded back over again with these alto-cumulus clouds, and the humidity just didn't feel quite as bad as yesterday. You can see that's what the clouds looks like. Didn't feel quite as bad as yesterday. You can see though the clouds that did come in later on in the evening. So, let's talk about what's going on with the weather right now, as far as what's going to be changing, because the humidity is going to be moving out of the way, fortunately, and we will be having a much bigger improvement to our weather. So let's first show you. I want to actually go. I was trying to remember something, and I remember what it was. Then I wanted to take you to this here. And we're going to just do a longer loop of this, so you'll see. We'll do a 72 frame loop on this, so you can see the conveyor of moisture that's been coming up in our direction. So look at that. That's all the way from the equator right there. That's pretty crazy. So you have all this moisture coming up from the equator. We'll put it in red here. And that's what was bringing us these really humid conditions, literally right into the area, right from the tropics, right into our area. But fortunately, we have a cold front coming, which is right about over here, and that is going to bring in drier and cooler air starting tomorrow, fortunately. So we'll be done with this really ridiculous tropical air that we've been dealing with all day long. So let's take a look at what we got going on outside right now as far as current temperatures go. And you will see that we have temperatures generally in the 60s still. Dew points are still, let's see, up there. Not as bad as before, though, so they've come down a little bit. We'll take a look at what the day was like at Farmingdale, for instance. So Farmingdale right now is 64 with a dew point of 61, so it's come down a little bit. You could see it was more humid earlier on today. Dew points were a little higher. We actually had a light northerly and westerly flow, actually, which sort of brought the humidity down a little bit, and I felt slightly lower humidity. You could see once we got around 2 or 3, that's when it became mostly sunny. But you could see the humidity kind of stayed low. We didn't have too strong of a southerly flow, but then that southerly flow picked back up again later in the afternoon toward the evening, so it made it feel a little more humid again, but not as bad as yesterday. And then you can see what's going on now. The winds are getting more of a westerly component, and the dew points are dropping. So a big improvement from what we had earlier. You could see those westerly winds already in New Jersey and dew points in the 50s. So let's take a look at what our highs were today. And I'm sure things were quite warm once again. We'll take a look and see how things were across our area. And you see we've had 72 at Islip, not quite a record. So a little bit cooler than yesterday, a little bit cooler, a little less brutal than yesterday on Long Island. However, it looks like in New Jersey, they still had, well, depends on where you were. Some areas where they got more sun were up around 75. Look at Monmouth, but Ocean County, 72. And then further north, yeah, it was a little warmer actually further north, where I guess they got a little more sun, 77 there. Looks like in around, where that is, Passaic. So quite warm in northern New Jersey. That was the warm spot today. Today, fortunately, Long Island was not quite as brutal as it was yesterday. We can say goodbye to this for now. So let's go take a look at what we have on the weather map, and you see here's that cold front coming through right now. So it's going to bring us some real relief from this ridiculous humidity. Should not have a humidity in October. It should not be. You should not have to put the air conditioner on during the last days of October. That's ridiculous. So let's take a look at, first of all, we'll start off with the larger view over North America and the jet stream and what is going to be changing. So what we were dealing with, as you see, if we go back to yesterday, is a very strange jet stream where literally you have that southerly flow just coming straight up and a real weird kink over the lower Great Lakes there. Very strange to see. So what will be evolving is we'll have more of you can see there's a trough coming, and that's going to bring in that drier air. You can see it's still one of those narrow troughs, but it's going to bring in that drier air and cooler air, but it won't be a huge cool down. And then as we head toward the rest of the month, as the rest of the month continues, you'll see that high moves offshore. Then we have that chance for showers on Halloween with the next coastal storm. You can see still what looks like a pretty disorganized looking jet stream as we head into November still. Maybe as we get toward mid-November, that's when we start seeing a little more of a troughiness in the east and more opportunities for colder air to move in. But right now, no huge cool downs. We'll be a little bit below normal for a few days this weekend, but not really, any huge cool downs. So when you look at the height anomaly here, you will see we still have that slight ridging on the east, and you can see there. So because of that, we're not going to see huge, and the cold air that we will be seeing is shallow. The cool air that we will be seeing this weekend, because it's going to be coming down from New England. You'll see when we look at the surface. But you'll see as we get toward next week again, ridge in the east. You know what that means? Well above normal as we look at next weekend. That's pretty crazy right there. So it's still going to be above normal as we head into November. When you see a pattern like that, that's what it means. So let's go to the surface map here, and we'll go ahead and look at our temperature anomalies, and you'll see this should all line up with that. So here we go. As far as tomorrow goes, we're still going to be above normal. Normal highs now probably around 60 degrees. Friday, we're closer to normal, all right? And so we'll be close to normal Friday, say just close to normal. It won't be below normal. And then you'll see the temperature start becoming above normal. Again, look at this ridiculous warmth that will be extending all the way up, and especially as you go into next, look at how far that warmth goes up into eastern Canada there. Pretty crazy as we get toward next weekend. Not this weekend, but look at that. So we're not quite done with the warmth yet, unfortunately. There's still more warmth to come. We're going to have to wait for that cool air to come. I know it's ridiculous. We see this every fall now. It's just so when we look at the Climate Prediction Center, obviously that's going to back up on the 6 to 10 day and the 8 to 14 day that we're going to be above normal with temperatures and near to slightly below normal when it comes to precipitation. So let's go take a look at the surface. And we'll go to the surface map. So you'll see as we head into back this up to tonight. All right, so that moisture finally pulls away. We've got a high building in, but you see that high going over the Great Lakes instead of coming straight down and then building over the north of New England. Here's a low, which could actually be a tropical system. We're going to have to keep an eye on this. That's going to it could develop tropical characteristics. Fortunately, it stays well to the south. High pressure protects us from that, fortunately. We have that surface high pressure over in the northeast. But then we start seeing some of that moisture come in on Monday. But you can see not a heavy rainfall. And then as we get into Tuesday, see a little bit of a break. Even better for Wednesday, perhaps. We'll get a little more of a break on Wednesday. And then you can see here, we'll have high pressure stay in control for much of next week. Here we go again into the weekend. We're going to deal with that ridiculous warmth. And then here comes another high. But you can see we have to wait until there's right toward the end of the period. That's when you're going to see the big cool down. And, of course, that keeps getting pushed back, as you know. So, carrot and stick situation again. For those who want some cold, some November chill, well, I'm sorry, you're not going to be getting it. So let's go take a closer look now at our area as far as the weather goes. And I really don't see we have much of the HRRR. 30 frames of it. I'm not even going to bother with it because it's not really important to use that model right now. We can use it to some extent, but I'm going to look at it toward the end of this video because we don't really have a full enough, and it's not fully in yet. And it's really not important to use it for the purposes of this video. So let's go looking at your dew points, and you see here on the GFS, see that wind become west, dew points drop after midnight. We're really going to see a drop in dew points by tomorrow. Strong northwest winds, dry air coming in. You can see those dew points dropping through the 40s into the upper 30s. Northwest winds becoming north toward the evening, and then northeasterly. The winds stay up, so I don't think we're going to see any radiational cooling tomorrow night because we have this high and the gradient to the low. So the winds do stay up. I don't think we're going to see that radiational cooling. You see that northeast flow. On Friday, it becomes a little more easterly, and then it kind of, once again, becomes northeasterly. You can see there's that low, that gradient between the low and the high there, keeping that northeast wind going. And then Sunday, we start seeing that wind back more to the southeast and south. That brings the clouds in and the moisture, and then we'll be dealing with those rain chances as we head into Monday, which is your Halloween, of course. Hopefully it won't be a washout. We'll have to see. It really doesn't look like huge rain chances right now at this moment. And then after that, you see the west winds come north again, northwest winds on Wednesday. Thursday, we go to that southeasterly flow, and then we'll be dealing with the warmth again. Again, you can see that west to southwest flow, so it's not going to be all that humid, fortunately, with this warm air mass. It's just going to be warm. At least it won't be humid. So, all right, let's go look at the temperatures now. So as we get into tomorrow, you see it's still going to be mild tomorrow. We're still going to get into the mid-60s, which is still above normal. Tomorrow night, we drop back probably into the mid and upper 40s. And then cooler on Friday with more of that northeasterly flow, easterly flow. So mid-50s over Long Island, maybe a little warmer as you head your way into southern New Jersey, closer to 60, which is close to normal for this time of the year. So temperatures in the upper 50s, again, mid to upper 50s, say Saturday. So just slightly below normal, but more, this is more normal for this time of the year. And enjoy it because, again, it's going to get warmer. So here you go for your Saturday. Again, maybe a little bit warmer. Your highs near 60 at night. Maybe we'll start seeing some radiational cooling. We'll have to see the winds let up. And then we start seeing that warmth come in Sunday. Now we're above 60. And again, mid-60s for Monday. And then look at next week. We're going to deal with upper 60s. Here we go, upper 60s. It's going to be warm all week. Mid to upper 60s every day, close to 70. And then look at next weekend, 70s perhaps again. So look at that. That's crazy warmth. We can have some record-breaking warmth to kick off November before, again, some cooler air comes in. So, yeah, I know. It's crazy. It really is. So anyway, let's go and look at the skies now. We've done all that. So here's your GFS for the skies. We should clear it out tomorrow. Mostly sunny skies. And then Friday's when we might be dealing with a little bit of cirrus coming in. But that cirrus kind of gets pushed to the south. You see Saturday, I think we're going to be able to get a mostly sunny day across Long Island. But then Sunday, you can see the clouds kind of creep their way back in again. And then as far as next week goes, you'll see we'll be dealing with some clouds. Obviously to start, and then as we get toward Wednesday, it looks like a mostly sunny day. And then we'll have to see what happens. Maybe even Thursday could be a mostly sunny day. Friday, maybe even another mostly sunny day. So we'll have to see. We have a lot of, we'll have at least some sunshine at least for some of this. So let's go take a look at the RGEM model. That'll be the next model we can look at. So here is the RGEM, and you'll see again, here we go. Starting to tomorrow, you'll see mostly sunny skies. Should be a nice day. And then Friday, we got some of that cirrus coming in, so we'll have a little veil of cirrus over us on Friday, the sun through cirrus. And then for Saturday, we should be mostly sunny on Long Island. However, again, the easterly flow has a tendency to push some marine cloudiness over the Jersey Shore, but I think Long Island will be fine. And then that's as far as this model goes. So it kind of gives you an idea. Let me go back to the HRRR just to see how much more we've got 34 hours of it. And as much, I've only got out to, I just want to show you, I don't think it's going to be pushing any radiational cooling. Though it does have it getting a little colder, so maybe it's going to try to push some radiational cooling. Maybe lows in the upper 30s to around 40 by Friday morning. But anyway, I think that's going to wrap up this weather update. One more thing before we wrap it up, just the sea ice analysis right now. So we had the 11th lowest. So we read the 11th, tying 2010 for the 11th lowest in the satellite record. So still below normal with the sea ice, but fortunately not setting any new records at least. So we didn't really come, fortunately, any close to that. Hopefully we don't ever have a blue ocean event. But, we don't want that to ever happen. But, it's something I'm concerned about, obviously. But you can see here that we were obviously below normal. That blue line is where our sea ice was. The median is all the way up here. So we're still below normal when it comes to sea ice. We're never above normal, which is definitely, again, this all alters the climate as well. And then there's Greenland as well, which is another, and it looks like there was a melt spike in September here. So Greenland's seen a lot of melting. Some station in Greenland at an elevation of more than 3,200 meters or 10,500 feet surpassed the melting point for the first time on record in September on the afternoon of September 3rd. It was because of a strong high-pressure region parked at the southeastern edge of Greenland and it drew warmer air northward. So as there's less ice in Greenland and less ice in the Arctic, this all affects the climate, as you know, and that's what's causing all these crazy jet stream patterns that we're seeing. So that's going to wrap up this weather update. Fortunately, we're going to have some nice weather, so get out there and enjoy it. We still got some fall foliage out there. Thank you for watching this weather update. Have a good night.